This is a 4.5 minute video of bug working on departure cues. You're going to see a couple of steps in here. We just brought out the bed. We put it down, and now I'm walking over to the bed with her, giving her a couple of treats, and then I'm lowering into the down, and we're going to get a couple more treats. I'm feeding fast enough to have her stay there. And then I said, all done, and I encourage her to walk off. Or I could say, take a break. We are just walking back to the bed quietly, feeding her when she arrives. She offered that sit, and then we're going to use a little bit of a hand signal into the down. And this time I'm trying to see if I can keep her in that down position while I stand all the way up. Notice our rate of reinforcement is still pretty high. Rate of reinforcement, how fast I feed her. I can stand all the way up, she stays in position. I'm going to say all done and walk away. Take a break. Take a break is a nice, we can get out of position, it's not a big deal. I'm going to fix the bed, walk over, feed her for being on the bed, and then feed her in the down position. This is going really well. It's very easy for me to get her there, to get her into the down, and to be able to stand up. So I'm going to fiddle a little bit with the door, turning the lock, maybe cracking the door open, and just telling her I love it when she stays down by feeding her. Praising and feeding. I don't use a clicker for this one, I just praise and feed. It's not potentially going to look this fast, this quick with your pup. In this scenario, I actually introduced one of my departure cues. I'm also bringing in my bag. I walked away, so I distance and duration, picked up one of my departure cues, the bag that I leave with, and now I'm practicing opening the door and I'm reinforcing her. She still gets food because I never left the house. And I said, take a break there. I have been encouraging her to get off the bed. Now remember, if your pup breaks position, do not immediately ask them to do a down. If they break position, you say take a break and walk around. If you want them to break position, you say take a break and you walk around. This is puppy-led training. So I got her, oh, there she goes. She broke position. I didn't ask for that, so I said take a break. We're going to go on a walkabout. She's going to come back. I'm going to lure her into the down. I'm going to see if I can walk away and come back. I'm going to feed that, walk away, come back. I'm going to go for my bag again, one of my departure cues. I can feed her for this one. And this time I'm going to aim to get out the door. I open the door. She's still there. I'm feeding her. I'm still feeding her. That's going to change in a moment. I step out the door. I leave. She is allowed to get off the bed. I come back in the house and I just say, all done. Take a break. But it's not about treats this time. I'm just happy that she was chill and quiet and calm. So when you leave the house, we don't want them to expect you to come back in and feed them. And they can get off the couch or the bed or the mat once you leave them. This is not a stay. They are allowed to get up quietly and calmly and move around the room and go sit in different places. You're just trying to tell them that, hey, bud, I'm leaving. I really like it when you relax and calm down while I grab my keys and my bags and all that stuff. And I want to see nice, calm puppies before we leave the house. In this instance, I've just brought in my water mug and keys just to make sure that me picking them up doesn't cause a little anxiety. So first I pick it up, then I pick it up and stand up. Pick it up and stand up. She gets food for this. Love this behavior. Open the door. I have a pretty chill dog. She's like, hey, you got another cookie for me? That's amazing. I'm stepping out the door. So remember, now that I've left, the reward is I come back before a dog is anxious and I just quietly praise them. She did not have to stay in that position. But this is a dog who's happy training, doesn't have that separation anxiety. Occasionally she has some FOMO, but she's a good pup. I'm going to restart the video and just let it play through, and you can watch one more time to see what happens and kind of catch the flow of when we reward our pups, how we increase behavior. If getting her into the down on mat is very, very easy, we can add departure cues and opening the door. And when we come back in the house, we don't feed. And at any point in time, if your pup gets off the mat, it's okay. Take a break, walk around. If you would like your pup off the mat, it's okay. Take a break, walk around. We do not need our pups to down and stay on the mat when we are starting to reduce anxiety. We are just showing them by reinforcing this nice calm down on mat that they can be chill while we gather all our things and leave the house, which helps set us up for success for them not being anxious before we leave the house. And then when you build out your separation anxiety plan, we're going to make sure that you return before they do get anxious, or you are going to, and while you are suspending absences from leaving the home or using medication to help reduce that anxiety if you do have to leave the home. And suspending absences can look like daycare, puppy sitter, you changing your schedule, but sometimes vets and a little bit of medication are a great help here if your pup is really struggling.